Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're immersing ourselves in a really intense story. It's all about family honor, these deep, long-held grudges, and this powerful drive for revenge.
We're going deep into the details of a specific confrontation, a real escalation. We want to explore the raw emotions, the shifting power dynamics, the betrayals, the hidden reasons behind it all.
Exactly. Our mission isn't just to lay out the sequence of events, the what happened. We really want to get into the why. Why did these people act the way they did? What was really at stake for them?
And how this incredibly complex web of relationships shaped everything. So yeah, prepare to uncover the layers here.
Yeah.
Because in this conflict, every single move, every decision, it just ripples outwards with huge consequences.
It's this collision, isn't it? Family legacy, these old grievances, this almost overwhelming thirst for payback. It just sets the stage for something truly dramatic.
Absolutely. So where do we even begin? The tension is there right from the start.
Let's start with Mubeen. We first meet him, and he is just consumed by worry, absolutely eaten up by it.
Yeah, he's got this ongoing case, this legal thing hanging over him, and it's clearly weighing on him heavily, almost paralyzing him.
And the core of it, the thing that seems to be gnawing at him the most, is that there's no witness, nobody to stand up and say, he didn't do it.
He knows he's innocent.
Right.
You get that sense. Deep down, he feels it. But that doesn't matter much in the real world, not without proof.
Right. That external validation, that piece of evidence, it feels like it's just out of reach, and it's incredibly frustrating for him.
And right there, at this low point, his mother steps in. She offers something more than just comfort, doesn't she? It's this piece of wisdom.
Yeah, it really sets a philosophical tone for everything that follows. It feels ancient, this belief she shares.
She tells him, quite calmly, "Look, Mubeen, witnesses. You can find them, sure, but you can also buy them. That's just how things are."
Which is a pretty stark admission of reality.
It is. But then she follows it with this. "But if you truly aren't guilty, if your soul is clear, then remember this. There is no court in this world. There is no law in this world that can find you guilty in this case."
Wow. So a belief in some kind of higher justice, that truth has its own power regardless of manipulated evidence.
Exactly. It's not just trying to make him feel better. It seems like a fundamental family belief.
Yeah.
A kind of faith that innocence will ultimately win out, even against a corrupt system. It suggests this deep moral core.
That's a powerful idea to hold on to, defiant almost. But then Mubeen drops a name, just slips it in there, and it changes everything.
Kabir.
Kabir, he says, almost offhand, but you know it's huge. Kabir wants to come back.
And the reaction from his mother,
Yeah.
it's immediate, intense.
The calm is just gone, shattered. Her voice gets sharp, desperate. She pleads, this cannot happen. Kabir cannot come back. Kabir cannot come here.
And the reason, it's chilling. She says, as long as our enemies are present in this city, Kabir cannot return to this city, Mubeen.
Enemies, plural, present in the city. That tells you so much right there. This isn't just about Mubeen's current legal trouble.
Not at all. This is a long-standing feud, deep-seated, dangerous enough that it's kept Kabir away for who knows how long.
Her fear is palpable. It foreshadows the risk Kabir faces just by thinking about coming back. It signals that this conflict has deep, old roots, a legacy of hatred.
A legacy, that's the word. And then the scene shifts so dramatically, the contrast is, well, it's jarring.
We go from Mubeen's suffocating anxiety to Sikandar Khan. And Sikandar is, well, he's practically glowing with satisfaction.
Yeah, a really dark satisfaction. He sees these events, the very things causing Mubeen such anguish, as like the fulfillment of a lifelong wish.
His words are unbelievable. My eyes long to see this scene. I wanted this since childhood. It immediately paints him as the antagonist, driven by this incredibly personal, long-nurtured vendetta.
It's not just anger, it's an obsession. Like he's been waiting for this exact moment for years, decades maybe.
And he gets this update, this piece of news that just fuels his glee.
Today, police have raided Mubeen Khan's home.
For Sikandar, that's not just a raid, it's the beginning of the end for Mubeen. He fully expects them to arrest these murderers and drag them away.
Notice the word murderers. He's already convicted them in his mind, even though the immediate situation seems different.
He actually says, today the wish has been fulfilled. Mubeen Khan will go, and a lot of paths will become clear. So it's not just personal destruction he wants.
No, it's strategic too. Mubeen is an obstacle. Someone standing in his way. Getting rid of Mubeen clears the path for Sikandar's own ambitions, whatever they are.
But here's where you really see his calculating side, because he's talking murder, right? framing it like that.
Yeah, he keeps calling Mubeen a murderer.
Yet he acknowledges almost in the same breath that the actual charge filed is for theft.
Right. That discrepancy is crucial. It shows it's not about the specific crime, is it? It's about using any legal means possible to bring Mubeen down.
If murder won't stick, theft will do. Anything to cause ruin, disgrace, entanglement, it's pure destruction he's after.
And he needs to see it. That's another chilling aspect. He doesn't just want to hear Mubeen's arrested. He wants visual confirmation.
He tells someone, make a video. Specifically, when they put Mubeen Khan in the police van. And he wants to see the handcuffs.
Handcuffs in Mubeen Khan's hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the public humiliation, the degradation. He needs to savor that image of Mubeen stripped of dignity. It speaks volumes about his malice.
It really does. And if that wasn't enough to show the depth of his hatred, then we get this moment where he's contemplating Kabir with the pistol.
Oh, that's deeply unsettling. He's talking to the gun, almost.
Yeah.
Asking why only 4 bullets are loaded.
Why only 4 bullets? Why not all 6? And his reasoning, it's twisted.
He says, I only put in 4 bullets in his name. What if he is saved by the remaining 2? He doesn't get shot then. He may be an enemy, but he should at least have 2 options to remain alive.
Options. That's not mercy. That's some kind of perverse theatrical game, a warped sense of honor in his revenge plot.
It shows incredible premeditation. This isn't just rage. It's a long-planned, almost ritualistic approach to vengeance. He wants to control the narrative, even Kabir's final moments, maybe even offer a sliver of false hope before the end.
It's psychological torture built into his plan, the level of detail, the cruelty. It's terrifying. He's not just an enemy, he's an architect of suffering.
An architect of suffering. That captures it perfectly. He wants the whole saga written his way, with maximum impact.
And this saga takes another sharp turn when the police actually show up at Mubeen's home, the very force Mubeen maybe hoped might help him.
Suddenly they're there. Uniforms, a search warrant. Imagine the shock, the disbelief inside that house.
Mubeen's reaction really stands out, that sense of entitlement, or maybe just shock that their world could be violated like this.
The police can't come to my house. It's like the rules don't apply to them, or shouldn't. A belief in their own protected status.
But that belief is just shattered. The scene descends into chaos. It's not just a search. It feels like a deliberate violation.
Sirens, forceful entry, the family caught completely off guard. Their home, their sanctuary just invaded.
And the description turned everything upside down. Furniture overturned, belongings scattered. It sounds like deliberate intimidation, ransacking.
Absolutely. Designed to humiliate, to instill fear. And the women of the house became very distressed. You can just picture the scene, the violation of their private space. It's a physical manifestation of Sikandar's hatred.
But even in that chaos, Mubeen acts. He thinks strategically.
He contacts Uncle Akram.
And this connection turns out to be incredibly powerful. It shows the family isn't just wealthy. They have serious political clout.
Uncle Akram is a minister. A big deal. And his intervention is immediate and decisive.
He doesn't plead, he commands. He links it directly to politics. If you want to win the next election, put an end to the spectacle immediately.
It's a raw display of power. Personal feuds impacting elections. Political careers hanging in the balance. It shows how tangled this all is.
And Akram's influence is undeniable. Mubeen has access to levers of power that can halt the state apparatus in its tracks.
The result is immediate. Despite the raid, Mubeen isn't arrested. The police just leave without him.
Imagine Sikandar hearing that. His reaction is pure frustration. Why aren't they taking him with them?
It highlights the power of connections. Justice, or at least the immediate application of the law, can be swayed. Mubeen is pulled back from the brink.
So Mubeen dodges the bullet, thanks to Uncle Akram. But for Sikandar's family, this isn't the end. It just adds fuel to the fire.
Definitely. Lubna, Sikandar's sister, seems just as invested in this hatred. Her initial reaction to the raid news is pure joy.
She calls it a joyous event, the fulfillment of an intense longing. Even without an arrest, the raid itself is a victory in her eyes. It shows this isn't just Sikandar, it's a shared family obsession.
A collective inherited grudge. And the way they track it, it's chilling.
Lubna states the exact time elapsed since. Something pivotal happened. 10 years, 4 months, 4 days, 4 hours, and 44 minutes.
That precision is terrifying. It's not just remembering. It's nursing the wound, keeping it fresh. It's a ritualistic commitment to revenge for what happened to Dad.
This isn't fading history. It's a living, breathing vendetta. Passed down, kept alive.
And it's not just aimed at Mubeen. They target everyone. Kabir, from Mubeen, from Mabina. It's total war against the entire family.
Which brings us back to that idea about the enemy's picture in the wallet.
Right. Not for love, but to not forget the enmity. The dialogue lays it bare. People keep the picture of those they love, but who keeps the picture of their enemy?
And the answer: I think people keep the picture of those they don't want to forget, and I don't want to forget my enmity.
It's a conscious choice to actively cultivate hatred, keep it present, ready for the day of reckoning. It's almost become part of their identity.
So Mubeen's safe for now, but the other side is doubling down. And this is when Kabir makes his move.
His return is quiet, though. Strategic. I haven't said anything to anyone. He arranges a card discreetly.
It feels calculated, like he's assessing the situation before announcing his presence. A silent force gathering.
And his first act. Straight to Nawaz, this guy caught in the middle. Kabir demands the truth. Who framed Mubeen?
No messing around. Direct, forceful. He wants answers now.
Then there's that intriguing mention of his new godfather.
Yeah.
That signals something important.
Yeah, not a relative. In this world, a godfather means power, influence. Probably someone operating in the shadows like Akram, maybe even more formidable.
It suggests Kabir hasn't been idle. He's built his own network, found his own protection. He's returning as a player, not just an angry brother. He knows the game now.
And he's willing to play rough, using a pistol to force a confession from Nawaz.
It shows his ruthlessness, perhaps. Or just his absolute determination. He'll use force to get the truth he needs to protect his family. He operates outside the normal rules.
Meanwhile, back with Mubeen's family, Mabina is still grappling with the theft accusation. Akram's intervention stopped the arrest, but the suspicion lingered.
For 10 days, that cloud hung over them. Even without an arrest, the accusation itself was damaging.
And the initial story that stuck, the one the authorities and even Akram seemed to accept, was pretty damning for Mubeen.
Right. The tender friends arrive. Mubeen takes them to his office. Then, boom, stolen from his locker. It puts the responsibility squarely on him. A huge breach of trust in that world.
But Mabina isn't buying it. She has that critical thinking, that intuition. Every picture has two sides. Every story also has two perspectives.
She refuses the simple explanation. Her skepticism is key here. It opens the door for the real story to emerge.
And Uncle Akram. His concerns are purely pragmatic. It's not just about Mubeen or the money.
No, it's about the community, the government tenders, his own political career, his seat.
He lays it out bluntly. If Mubeen is proven guilty of fraud, Akram will cut him off completely. No more tenders, no relationship. The pressure is immense.
I will never forgive you if I lose my seat because of you. It shows how high the stakes are, how Mubeen's fate is tied to so many others.
But while all this is swirling, Kabir has been preparing, meticulously. He doesn't just rely on threats or his godfather.
He comes armed with facts. Hard evidence. Mubeen's entire history of completing tenders on time, backed by audit reports.
It establishes Mubeen's credibility, yes, but it also shows Kabir's foresight. He anticipated needing this. He's thorough, strategic. He came ready to dismantle the lies.
And it all leads to that confrontation. Kabir versus Sikandar, the moment that's been brewing for years.
Sikandar, predictably, tries to pull a gun. A last desperate move.
But Kabir diffuses it, seems utterly unfazed. And the dialogue cuts deep, doesn't it? Kabir basically calls him a coward.
If someone immediately gets up from their place out of fear upon Kabir entering a room, then that person could only be Sikandar Khan. Ouch. It highlights Kabir's confidence, his lack of fear.
Then the coerced confession from Nawaz. Sikandar implicated directly. It seems like the smoking gun.
But Sikandar's side immediately pushes back. You can't trust a statement made at gunpoint. They try to discredit it, regain control. Standal tactics.
Desperate moves. But Kabir, he has the final word. The ace up his sleeve.
The recovered video footage. Deleted but retrieved, showing Nawaz actually stealing the money from Mubeen's office.
This video was deleted by Nawaz, but I got it retrieved. Game over. Technology provides the irrefutable truth.
No more arguments, no denials possible. It cuts through all the manipulation. Mubeen's innocence is proven, definitively.
And the fallout is immediate. Sikandar Khan, the man who wanted to see Mubeen handcuffed,
is arrested himself
Yeah.
for theft. A stunning, complete reversal. The hunter becomes the hunted, caught in his own scheme. Poetic justice, maybe, but brutal.
The shockwaves hit his family hard. Ria goes from celebrating Mubeen's potential fall to utter distress over Sikandar's arrest. A cruel whiplash.
And Lubna delivers the news ice cold. Kabir Khan, he is back, Rhea. Our enemy has returned. She spells out exactly how Kabir turned the tables.
Redirected all the allegations against Mubeen Khan towards Sikandar. It underscores Kabir as the central, most dangerous adversary they face. They clearly underestimated him.
And their own traditions trap them further. That rule about women not going to police stations or courts.
Yeah, women in our family don't go. It leaves them feeling even more helpless, unable to intervene directly for Sikandar, just trapped with their rage.
But that helplessness breeds something darker in Lubna, a chilling vow.
I will hurt them in a way they'll remember for life. It's not just anger, it's cold, calculated planning.
She asks her just one night to figure it out. That tells you she's strategic, dangerous. The real fight might just be starting.
Meanwhile, Kabir's family is celebrating. Relief, pride. His mother, Mubeen's sister-in-law, they see him as a hero.
Making your mother hold her head high with pride. He's restored their honor, their safety. He's their champion.
And Kabir makes it clear. He's not leaving. I have come back home. Now I will only leave it when I am dead.
That's a definitive statement, a commitment to stay, to fight, no matter the cost. It changes the entire dynamic going forward.
He even mocks Sikandar's earlier threat with the gun. Says Sikandar lacked the courage to fire.
The poor guy doesn't know how to. You need courage to fire a pistol. I have that. Ever since I was 10, and Sikandar still doesn't to this day. It's pure contempt, showing Kabir's own resolve. He's ready for whatever comes next.
And he's already thinking about the next move, not resting. He says, it is necessary to teach someone a lesson.
Chilling. It confirms that Sikandar's arrest is just one battle. The war is far from over. This is just the beginning of the next phase.
And right in the middle of all this vengeance, this tension, this talk of lessons to be taught, there's this sudden shift, this reflection on love.
Yeah, it's almost jarring. How do you know you're in love? The gaze that first enters the eyes. You can't hear anything, you can't see anything. Where does that come from?
It makes you pause, doesn't it? What does it signify here? Amidst all this hatred, maybe it suggests there are other currents running underneath. Unspoken feelings, perhaps?
Well, maybe future complications. Could love soften this somehow? Or just make the pursuit of revenge even more tangled? It's a reminder that these are complex people, not just symbols of hatred.
It raises that question. Can love ever truly be stamped out by vengeance? Or does it just lie dormant?
Which leads us right to that concluding thought, that thematic summary. The truth saved one brother, but shattered another's pride.
As Kabir returns home for justice, a fire rekindles in those who once buried their rage. Now, the storm has just begun because vengeance doesn't forget, and love never truly dies.
It perfectly encapsulates where we are. Justice was served, yes, but it wasn't an end point, it was fuel. It sets the stage for something much bigger, much more personal.
A saga where past and present collide, where justice is just one chapter in a longer, perhaps endless, cycle of retribution, and maybe, just maybe, redemption or further tragedy.
We've seen this incredible dance of power, the betrayals, a brief moment of vindication for Mubeen. Kabir's return changed everything.
Absolutely. He shifted the balance dramatically. But in doing so, he's awakened something fierce in Sikandar's family. The desire for revenge is burning hotter than ever.
So, as we wrap up this part of the dive, think about this. In stories like this, where personal history is so potent, where power plays such a huge role, can any victory really be final?
Or does each win just set up the next conflict, maybe a more devastating one?
And how do you break a cycle like this, especially when the grudges run so deep, for generations perhaps?
And what about those other feelings? Love, affection, desire? What happens when they crash against this wall of pure, burning hatred?
Something for you to ponder. Think about the motivations here, the complex human drives, how justice gets tangled up with something much more raw, more personal.
More enduring, perhaps. Because as we've seen, the storm has only just begun.